The stars were silent as the massive ships of the Vesperi hegemony moved through space. Their hulls gleamed with a blue-green light that reflected the distant sun. Admiral Kozitlik stood on the bridge of the command ship and watched the screens, with all four of his eyes. This star system was not special. It had 3 rocky planets, 2 gas giants, and a normal yellow star. But orders were orders. The hegemony wanted every system mapped and claimed. "Admiral, scans show no advanced life forms on any planet," said his second-in-command. "The 3rd planet has some primitive animals, but nothing intelligent." Kozitlik clicked his mandibles together. "Begin standard procedures, set up orbit stations around the habitable planets." The Vesperi had ruled the stars for over 300 years. 17 different alien species now bowed to them. The insect-like Vesperi were not the strongest or the fastest, but they were the most organized. Their hive-mind way of thinking made them perfect for building an empire across the stars. What the Vesperi didn't know was that they were being watched. Hidden in the shadow of the larger gas giant, a sleek, dark ship hung in space. Its black hull absorbed light rather than reflected it. No sensors could find it. No scanners could see it. The USS Defiant was the newest and most advanced ship in the human fleet, and right now, it was in trouble. Sharon Wright opened her eyes. As cold liquid drained from her cryopod, she coughed and sat up, shivering as the ship's AI spoke. "Lieutenant Wright, emergency wake-up complete. Captain Summers requests your presence on the bridge immediately." Sharon pulled herself out of the pod. Her muscles felt weak after 3 years of frozen sleep. She splashed water on her face and quickly put on her uniform. The corridor lights were dim, set to emergency power. Something was wrong. The Defiant had been on a simple mission: fly to the edge of known space, gather information, and return to Earth. No one had expected to find an alien fleet. When Sharon reached the bridge, Captain Eric Summers was already there. His face looked tired but alert. Around him, other crew members were also just waking up, looking confused and worried. "Lieutenant Wright, good. You're here," Captain Summers said. "We have a situation." Sharon looked at the main screen and saw the alien ships. Her heart beat faster. Humans had never met aliens before. They had found ruins and artifacts on other planets, but never living spacefaring aliens. "What are they?" she asked. "We don't know," said Diane Peters, the communications officer. Her fingers moved quickly over her console. "They're broadcasting signals, but in languages I've never heard. I'm recording everything." Gregory Martinez, the science officer, studied his screens. "Their technology is amazing. Those ships are at least 100 years ahead of ours. Their engines use some kind of energy we've never seen before." Captain Summers nodded. "We've been watching them for 6 hours. They don't know we're here. Our cloaking system is working perfectly." Sharon took her place at the tactical station. "What are our orders, sir?" "For now, we watch and learn," said Summers. "This is first contact. We need to be careful." A new voice joined the conversation. "Captain, we have a problem." Kelly Robinson, the chief engineer, had just arrived on the bridge. Her face was serious. "The quantum drive is damaged," she said. "We can't jump back to Earth." Captain Summers frowned. "Can we fix it?" "Maybe," said Kelly. "But I need at least 2 weeks, and we'll have to power down the cloak to redirect energy to the repair systems." Everyone on the bridge went quiet. Without the cloak, the alien ships would see them. Without the quantum drive, they couldn't get home to warn Earth about the alien fleet. "How many ships do they have in total?" asked Summers. Sharon checked her scanners. 27 in this system, but based on their communications, there are thousands more across this sector of space. The captain stood up and walked to the main screen. He studied the alien ships with narrowed eyes. "Are they a threat?" he asked. Gregory looked up from his science station. "They're setting up what look like colony stations. They're claiming this system, and if they've done this to 17 other species, then they're conquerors," finished Sharon. Frank Henderson, the security chief, spoke up. "We should stay hidden. If they're hostile, we're outnumbered." "But if the drive is damaged, we can't stay hidden," said Kelly. We either fix it and reveal ourselves or we stay cloaked until our power runs out. Then we're just a dead ship in space. Captain Summers walked slowly around the bridge, thinking. The crew watched him, waiting. Finally, he stopped. We need more information. Are these aliens peaceful explorers or dangerous invaders? We can't make that decision based on a few hours of observation. Ben Taylor, the ship's anthropologist, spoke up. From what I can see of their formation patterns and how they communicate between ships, they're very hierarchical, rigid, like a military. Alicia Morgan, the young diplomat, added, Earth's first contact protocols say we should attempt communication, if possible. Show peaceful intentions. Captain Summers nodded. And if they are peaceful, they might help us repair our ship. And if they're not? Asked Sharon. Then we need to know that too, said the captain. Better to meet them now on our terms than be discovered when our power fails. He turned to Diane. Prepare a first contact message. Universal greetings. Mathematical sequences, the basics. Yes, sir, said Diane, already working on her console. Sharon felt a chill run through her body. This moment would change everything. Humans were not alone in the universe, and soon, for better or worse, these aliens would know that humans existed too. All stations prepare for first contact protocols, said Captain Summers. His voice was calm but serious. Lieutenant Wright, power up defensive systems, but keep weapons offline. We don't want to appear threatening. Yes, sir, said Sharon. Captain Summers took a deep breath and straightened his uniform. Communications on my mark, drop the cloak and send the greeting. The bridge was silent. Every crew member felt the weight of this moment. They were about to change human history forever. 3, 2, 1, mark. The cloak fell away. The Defiant appeared in space, its dark hull now visible against the stars. The message began to transmit. On the alien command ship, alarms blared. Admiral Kozitlik's four eyes widened in shock as a ship appeared from nowhere. A ship unlike any the hegemony had ever seen. And for the first time in 300 years, the Vespari Empire stood frozen in surprise. Admiral Kozitlik recovered quickly from his shock. In 300 years of space travel, the Vespari had never encountered a ship that could hide from their sensors. Now one had appeared right in their midst. All ships, defensive formation, he ordered. His crew rushed to obey. Weapons ready, but do not fire. The alien fleet moved with perfect order, surrounding the human ship. Their blue-green hulls shimmered as weapon ports opened. On the bridge of the Defiant, the crew watched the alien ships move. They're taking defensive positions, said Sharon Wright from her tactical station. Weapons ports are open, but not powering up yet. Captain Summers nodded. They're being cautious. That's good. He turned to Diane Peters. Any response to our message? The communications officer adjusted her headset. Yes, sir, they're broadcasting back. It looks like they're mimicking our format. Numbers, simple images, basic physics constants. They understand, said Ben Taylor with excitement. The anthropologist leaned forward. This is amazing. They picked up our communication method instantly. Alicia Morgan, the young diplomat, stood behind Captain Summers. Her hands were shaking slightly, but her voice was steady. Sir, I recommend we proceed with visual communication next. Show them what we look like. Are you sure that's wise? Asked Frank Henderson. The security chief frowned. We know nothing about these aliens or how they might react to our appearance. They'll see us eventually, said Captain Summers. Better to control that first impression. He nodded to Diane. Prepare visual transmission. Just me sitting here, nothing threatening. As Diane set up the transmission, Kelly Robinson entered the bridge. Captain, I've been analyzing their ships. Their power systems are incredible. If we could understand even a fraction of their technology, it might help us fix the quantum drive faster. First things first, said Summers. Let's establish peaceful contact. He straightened in his chair as Diane gave him the signal. Transmitting now. On the main screen, they could see the bridge of the alien command ship. A creature sat in what must have been the captain's position. It had 4 eyes on a triangular head, a body covered in hard, shiny plates, and 4 arms. It looked like a cross between an insect and a crustacean. The alien seemed to recoil when it saw Captain Summers. "What's happening?" Summers asked. Ben Taylor studied the alien's reaction. "They seem afraid or surprised by our appearance." On the alien bridge, Admiral Kazitlik fought to control his instinctive fear. The creature on the screen looked eerily like the ancient predators that had once hunted the Vespari on their home world. Smooth skin, forward-facing eyes, upright posture, all signs of a dangerous hunter. "Send visual communications to all ships," Kazitlik ordered. "They must know what we're dealing with." Back on the Defiant, Diane received more transmissions. "Sir, they're sending us images now. Star maps, planetary systems. I think they're showing us their territory." "They're establishing boundaries," said Alicia, "showing us where they claim ownership." Captain Summers leaned forward. "Send them our star maps. Show them Earth, but keep the coordinates vague. Let them know we come from far away and that we're explorers, not invaders." For the next few hours, the human ship and alien fleet exchanged basic information. The translation computers worked overtime trying to build a simple shared language. Sharon kept watch on the alien ships. "Captain, 3 more ships just entered the system, bigger than the others." Gregory Martinez checked his science readings. "I'm detecting unusual energy signatures. They might be bringing in special equipment to study us." Captain Summers frowned. "Diane, how's the language coming along?" "We have basics. Simple nouns, actions. They call themselves the Vespari. They refer to themselves collectively as the hegemony." "That doesn't sound friendly," muttered Frank. Alicia stepped forward. "Captain, I think we should suggest a face-to-face meeting. It would show trust." "Or give them a chance to capture us," Frank argued. Captain Summers thought for a moment. "Diane, send a message. Suggest a meeting on neutral ground. That small moon orbiting the 4th planet. Each side sends 1 shuttle. Minimal crew." The response came quickly. The Vespari agreed. "They agreed too easily," Frank said. "It could be a trap." "Or they're just as curious about us as we are about them," said Ben. Captain Summers stood up. "We'll be prepared either way. Sharon, Frank, Alicia, you're with me. Gregory, analyze everything you can about that moon. Kelly, keep working on the drive. If things go badly, we may need to make a quick exit." As they prepared for the meeting, Sharon found Captain Summers in his ready room. "Sir, I've been monitoring their communications as best I can. There's a lot of traffic between their ships, more than seems necessary." Summers looked concerned. "What do you think it means?" "I'm not sure, but it feels like they're waiting for something. Or someone." Summers nodded. "Keep watching them. If anything changes, let me know immediately." The shuttle bay was small but efficient. The 4 crew members boarded their craft, while Kelly watched from the control room. "I've modified the shuttle," she said over the radio. "If anything happens to you, I can pilot it remotely back to the ship." "Let's hope that won't be necessary," said Summers as the shuttle launched. The small craft moved slowly toward the moon. Behind it, a Vespari shuttle also approached. It was larger and shaped like a flat disk with glowing edges. As they neared the meeting point, Sharon noticed something. "Captain, look at the long-range scanners. There's unusual activity at the edge of the system." Summers checked the readings. "More ships?" "I think so," said Sharon. "Very faint signals, but they're there." The captain's face grew serious. "They're calling for reinforcements." On the moon's surface, both shuttles landed about 100 meters apart. The atmosphere was thin but breathable. The landscape was barren rock and dust. Captain Summers stepped out first, followed by his team. From the alien shuttle, 3 Vespari emerged. In person, they were larger than they had appeared on screen, nearly 7 feet tall, with iridescent plates covering their bodies. The lead Vespari stepped forward. A device on its chest spoke in a flat, mechanical voice. "I am Admiral Kazitlik of the Vespari hegemony. You are in our territory." Summers kept his voice calm. "I am Captain Eric Summers of the Earthship Defiant. We are peaceful explorers who came upon your fleet by chance." The Admiral's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. No ship appears from nowhere. You were watching us, hiding from us. We were observing, yes, admitted Summers. This is our first contact with another spacefaring species. We wanted to learn before revealing ourselves. The Vespari made a clicking sound that the translator didn't catch. Your ship, how does it hide? Sharon noticed how interested the aliens seemed in their cloaking technology. Too interested. We have much to discuss, said Summers carefully. Technology, culture, history. But first, we need to establish trust. As they spoke, Sharon's communicator beeped softly. She checked it discreetly and saw a message from Diane. Multiple ships detected entering system, large warships. The diplomatic meeting had just become much more complicated. Sharon touched Captain Summers' arm lightly and showed him the message about the incoming warships. His expression didn't change, but she saw his jaw tighten. Admiral Kazatlik, Summers said calmly, I notice your fleet is growing. Were those ships already nearby, or did you call them after we appeared? The Vespari's plates shifted color slightly, turning a deeper blue. We are always cautious with unknown species. This is merely standard procedure. Alicia Morgan stepped forward. We understand caution, Admiral. Earth has similar protocols. But bringing in warships during a peaceful meeting sends a concerning message. The Admiral's 4 eyes blinked in sequence again. You have technology we have not seen before. Your ship appeared from nowhere. The hegemony must understand how this is possible. Frank Henderson kept his hand close to his weapon. And if we choose not to share our technology? The translator, device on Kazitlik's chest, paused before responding. Then we will learn it through other means. The mood changed instantly. The Vespari guards behind Kazitlik moved their hands to devices on their belts. Captain Summers raised his hands slowly. I think we should return to our ships and continue this discussion from a safer distance. I agree, said Kazitlik. We will speak again soon. The Admiral turned and walked back to the Vespari shuttle with its guards. Once inside their own shuttle, Frank exploded. They're planning to take our ship. We need to get back now. Sharon was already at the controls, starting the engines. The new ships will reach the system in about 20 minutes. They're big, Captain. Much bigger than anything in the current fleet. Captain Summers contacted the Defiant. Gregory, what's our status? Not good, sir, came the science officer's voice. I've been analyzing their new arrivals. They're bringing in what looks like specialized boarding craft and energy-dampening equipment. They want the ship intact, said Sharon as she piloted the shuttle away from the moon. Kelly, called the captain, how's the quantum drive? The engineer's voice was stressed. We've isolated the problem, but repairs will still take days, not hours. We can do short jumps within the system, but nothing that will get us home. And might be enough, said Summers. Sharon, get us back to the ship as fast as possible. The shuttle raced across space toward the Defiant. Behind them, the Vespari shuttle also launched, heading back to the alien fleet. When they reached the Defiant, the bridge was in full alert mode. Gregory pointed to the main screen, which showed 5 massive warships entering the system. The lead ship is 3 times our size, he said, and that one, he pointed to a flat, ring-shaped vessel, appears to be some kind of specialty craft. It's emitting strange energy patterns. They're going to try to disable us without destroying us, said Kelly, who had joined them on the bridge. They want our technology. Captain Summers took his command chair. Sharon, tactical analysis. What are our options? Sharon studied her screens. Their ships are powerful but slower than ours. If we can stay at range, our weapons might be effective against their shields. I've detected what might be weak points in their shield configurations. Show me, said Summers. Sharon displayed the energy patterns she had detected around the Vespari ships. See these fluctuations? Their shields seem to cycle every 40 seconds. There's a brief moment when they're weaker. Good work, said Summers. Kelly, can we do a short jump to the asteroid belt in the outer system? Yes, but it will drain our reserves. We might not be able to jump again for several hours. It's our best option for now. Prepare for jump. The crew worked quickly. Within minutes, the Defiant shimmered and vanished, reappearing moments later among a dense field of asteroids. "Jump complete," said Kelly. "Power reserves at 60% and recharging." "Perfect," said Summers. "The asteroids will help mask our presence and give us cover if we need to fight." Diane called from communications. "Captain, I'm picking up transmissions from the Vespari fleet. They're searching for us." "Let them search," said Summers. "Gregory, what else can you tell me about their ships?" The science officer brought up detailed scans. "The most interesting thing isn't their technology, it's their crews. The main ships are controlled by the Vespari, but many of the smaller vessels have different life signs. I think they're using other species as crew or labor." "Slaves?" asked Alicia, horrified. "More like subjects," said Ben Taylor. "Remember, they called themselves the hegemony. That suggests an empire with conquered peoples." Sharon was studying the alien fleet's search pattern when she noticed something odd. "Captain, look at this. This group of ships here, they're not searching very effectively. It's almost like they're deliberately avoiding the areas where we might be." "Could be poor training," suggested Frank. "Or," said Ben, "they might not be fully loyal to the hegemony." Captain Summers considered this. "If the hegemony controls 17 species, not all of them might be happy about it." "Diane, can you identify which ships those are?" After a few minutes of analysis, Diane nodded. "They appear to be crewed by a species different from the Vespari. Their communication patterns are distinct." "Interesting," said Summers. "We might have potential allies." A alarm sounded. "Scout ship approaching," warned Sharon. "Small and fast. It will pass within sensor range in 2 minutes." "Options?" asked Summers. "We could destroy it," said Frank. "One shot before it can report back." "Or we could let it find us," said Sharon. "Draw it in, capture it, and learn more about their technology." Summers thought quickly. "Capture plan. Sharon, target its engines only. Frank, prepare a boarding team." Everyone moved to their stations. The small alien scout craft moved closer, weaving between asteroids. When it was within range, Sharon fired a precise pulse that hit its propulsion system. The scout spun in space, disabled but intact. "Direct hit," she reported. "Their communications are down too." "Perfect. Frank, bring them in." The Defiant extended its docking arms and pulled the small ship into its cargo bay. Frank led a team of security officers to secure the craft. 10 minutes later, Frank returned to the bridge. "Captain, you need to see this." The crew followed him to the cargo bay. Inside the captured scout ship were 2 aliens, but they weren't Vespari. These creatures had scales instead of plates, with long, powerful tails and snouts filled with sharp teeth. "They appear to be reptilian," said Gregory, scanning them with a medical device. "And according to these readings, they're not injured, just pretending to be unconscious." "They want us to think they're helpless," said Sharon. Captain Summers, approach the aliens. "We know you're awake. We mean you no harm." Slowly, one of the aliens opened its eyes. They were golden with vertical pupils. It looked at the humans with what seemed like curiosity rather than fear. "You fight Vespari," it said in a raspy voice. The words were heavily accented but understandable. "We help." The humans exchanged surprised looks. This changed everything. The reptilian alien sat up slowly in the cargo bay of the Defiant. Its scales shimmered with a green-gold color in the ship's lights. The second alien remained still but watched with alert eyes. "I am Cyrex," said the first alien. "We are Draki. We serve Vespari, but not by choice." Captain Summers nodded. "I'm Captain Eric Summers of the Earthship Defiant." "Why do you want to help us?" Cyrex's tongue flicked out briefly. 3 generations. My people serve hegemony. We build ships. We fight wars. We die for insects who treat us like animals." The reptile's claws clicked against the metal floor. "Your ship appeared from nowhere. You have power Vespari do not have. Maybe you can help free Draki." "You're not the only ones, are you?" asked Alicia. "The Vespari control other species too." 17 worlds, said Cyrex. "All serve the hegemony, all wait for chance to break free." Frank Henderson kept his hand near his weapon. "How do we know this isn't a trick?" The Vespari could have sent you to gain our trust. Cyrex hissed softly. Vespari do not trust Draki with important missions. We are fighters, not spies. Check our scout ship. No tracking devices. We disabled them. Gregory Martinez scanned the small craft and nodded. He's telling the truth. All tracking and communication systems are offline. Captain Summers made a decision. Take our guests to the conference room. Let's hear what they have to say. In the conference room, Cyrex and the other Draki, who called himself Crix, told their story. The Vespari had come to their world 100 years ago. They had promised technology and knowledge, but instead brought chains and orders. The Draki were strong and good fighters, so the Vespari used them as soldiers and workers. Many ships in fleet have Draki crews, said Cyrex. Also Mirians who breathe water and Lithoi who are made of crystal. All hate Vespari, but Vespari technology is strong. And now a new ship has arrived, said Sharon. High Commander Vizirok's vessel. Cyrex's eyes widened. The Grand Subjugator? Here? Is that bad? Asked Ben. Very bad, said Crix, speaking for the first time. His voice was deeper than Cyrex's. Vizirok is member of Imperial Council. When he comes, planets fall. He does not leave until he gets what he wants. Captain Summers looked concerned. And he wants our cloaking technology. Yes, said Cyrex. Vespari cannot imagine technology they do not have. It makes them angry, afraid. They will destroy your ship if they cannot take it. Sharon spoke up. We've discovered a weakness in their shield systems. If we could share that information with other ships crewed by your people, a rebellion? Frank looked skeptical. Against an entire empire? Not an empire, said Crix. Just this fleet. If we can defeat Vizirok, it will send message to all hegemony. Diane Peters, who had been quiet until now, raised her hand. Captain, I've been monitoring communications. The Vespari are bringing in more ships. They're setting up a blockade around the system. They're determined not to let us escape. Kelly Robinson looked thoughtful. Captain, I've been thinking about our quantum drive problem. The Draki ships must use a different type of drive system. If we could study it, maybe we could adapt our repairs. Captain Summers nodded. Cyrex, would you be willing to share your ship's technology with us? The reptilian alien bowed his head. Our technology is Vespari technology. But yes, we will share. And we will contact other ships with Draki crews. Many will join us. This is a huge risk, said Frank. If we fail, we're all dead. If we do nothing, we're still dead, said Sharon. Or worse, captured and our technology used to help enslave more worlds. Captain Summers stood up. I need to think. Alicia, continue talking with our guests. Learn what you can about Vespari tactics and weaknesses. Gregory, work with Kelly on the drive systems. Sharon, develop a battle plan assuming we get some allies. Everyone else, prepare for either fight or flight. For the next few hours, the crew of the Defiant worked frantically. Cyrex used a secure frequency to contact other Draki ships. Slowly, carefully, a plan formed. In the engine room, Kelly studied the scout ship's drive system with Gregory. It's fascinating, she said. They use a different principle entirely. It's less efficient than our quantum drive, but more stable. Gregory nodded. If we combine their stabilizer design with our drive, we might be able to make longer jumps. Not all the way to Earth, but enough to get beyond their blockade. On the bridge, Sharon and Captain Summers reviewed the tactical situation. 7 Draki ships have signaled they will help us, she reported. They're positioned throughout the fleet. Also, we've heard from 2 Mirian vessels and 1 Lithoi ship. 10 ships plus us, against a fleet of over 30, said Summers. Not great odds, but we have surprise, said Sharon. And this. She showed him a detailed analysis of the Vespari shield systems. If we time our attacks precisely, we can penetrate their shields during the cycle reset. Good work, said Summers. What about Vizirok's ship? That's the real problem, said Sharon. It has multiple redundant shield systems. We'd need to hit it with everything we have at exactly the right moment. Alicia entered the bridge with Cyrex. Captain, we've learned something important. The Vespari have a deeply hierarchical society. If we can capture or kill Vizirok, the fleet might fall into confusion. Cyrex nodded. Without clear leader, Vespari are lost. They need orders. Chain of command is everything to them. Captain Summers looked thoughtful. So we don't need to defeat the whole fleet, just take out the command structure. Exactly, said Alicia. It's like decapitating a snake. Frank joined them, looking serious. Captain, long-range sensors have picked up something. A massive energy surge at the edge of the system. I think they're bringing in something big. The main screen showed a new ship entering the system. It was enormous, shaped like a flattened disc with spikes protruding from its circumference. It glowed with an eerie blue light. The Imperial Subjugator, whispered Cyrex. Vizirok's personal flagship. It can destroy entire cities from orbit. Captain Summers set his jaw. Then we need to move now, before it gets into position. He activated the ship-wide communication system. All hands battle stations, this is not a drill. Throughout the Defiant, crew members moved with purpose. Weapons were charged, shields reinforced, and the newly modified quantum drive hummed with power. Send the signal to our allies, ordered Summers. Execute the plan in 30 minutes. Cyrex left to return to his scout ship. Before he left, he placed a clawed hand on Captain Summers's shoulder. My people have legend. One day, a ship would come from beyond stars and break our chains. Perhaps humans are that legend. As the Draki left, Captain Summers turned to his crew. Let's make sure that legend comes true. The Defiant hummed with energy as the crew prepared for battle. Captain Summers stood on the bridge watching the massive Imperial Subjugator grow larger on the main screen. The Vespari flagship dwarfed every other ship in the system. Its weapons could destroy planets. All systems ready, reported Sharon from the tactical station. Our allies are in position. Communications check, said Diane. All rebel ships are on our secure frequency. They await your signal, Captain. Summers took a deep breath. Kelly, how's our drive? The engineer's voice came through the speaker. The hybrid system is online. We can make 3 jumps before it needs to cool down. Make them count. Understood. The captain turned to his crew. This isn't just about getting home anymore. These people need our help. The Vespari have ruled through fear for too long. Today we show them something new to fear. On the screen they could see the Imperial Subjugator moving into position. Smaller ships formed a protective screen around it. Their shield cycles are synchronized, said Sharon. If we time this right, we can hit them during the reset window. Send the go signal, ordered Summers. Execute jump 1. The Defiant vanished from the asteroid field and reappeared directly behind a Vespari patrol ship. Before the alien vessel could react, the human ship fired precise shots at its engines. The patrol ship spun out of control, disabled but not destroyed. Across the system, 7 Draki ships suddenly turned their weapons on nearby Vespari vessels. 2 Mirian ships dropped their cargo modules and revealed hidden weapons. A crystalline Lithoi ship began emitting an energy pulse that disrupted Vespari communications. It's working, said Gregory. The Vespari are confused. Their formation is breaking. Jump 2, ordered Summers. The Defiant disappeared again, reappearing near 3 Vespari cruisers that were firing on a Draki ship. The human vessel's weapons struck with perfect timing, catching all 3 cruisers during their shield reset. 2 lost power immediately. The 3rd exploded in a ball of blue fire. The Imperial Subjugator is changing course, reported Sharon. They're coming after us specifically. Good, said Summers. That's what we want. All rebel ships focus on the support vessels. We'll handle Vizirok. On the Imperial Subjugator, High Commander Vizirok watched with rising fury as his fleet fell into chaos. Ships were turning against each other. Communications were disrupted. And at the center of it all was the human ship that had appeared from nowhere. Bring us within range of that ship, he ordered. Prepare the main cannon. The massive flagship turned slowly, its main weapon beginning to glow with deadly energy. They're powering up something big, warned Gregory. Energy readings are off. The charts. Time for jump 3, said Summers. Kelly, is the package ready? Ready and waiting, confirmed the engineer. Execute jump 3. The Defiant vanished just as the Imperial subjugator fired its main weapon. The energy beam cut through empty space. A moment later, the human ship appeared directly above the massive flagship. "Now!" shouted Summers. The Defiant released a small object that attached itself to the subjugator's hull. Then it fired all weapons at a single point on the flagship's shield, exactly as the shield cycle reset. The barrage punched through, creating a hole in the defenses. "Direct hit," shouted Sharon. "Their shield grid is destabilizing." Frank Henderson's voice came over the comm. "Boarding party ready, Captain." "Go," ordered Summers. A small shuttle launched from the Defiant, carrying Frank and 6 security officers. They slipped through the gap in the shields and landed in a docking bay that had been damaged by the attack. Meanwhile, the small device attached to the hull sent out a pulse that disrupted the flagship's internal systems. Lights flickered throughout the massive vessel. Security doors opened and closed randomly. Frank led his team through the confused ship. Draki slaves on board, seeing their chance, began fighting their Vespari masters. Alarms blared everywhere. On the bridge of the Defiant, Captain Summers watched the battle unfold. "Status of rebel ships?" "They're holding their own," said Sharon. "The Vespari are disorganized without clear leadership. The other subjugated. Species are rising up too," added Diane. "I'm getting reports from throughout the fleet. They're throwing off their Vespari commanders." Frank's voice crackled over the comm. "Captain, we've reached the command center. Vizrock is here. We've captured him." A cheer went up on the bridge. Summers smiled but quickly refocused. "Broadcast to all ships. Tell them we have their leader." Diane opened a channel to the entire fleet. Frank's image appeared on the screen, with the captured High Commander Vizrock beside him. The Vespari leader's plates had turned a pale gray color, a sign of fear or defeat. "Attention all Vespari ships," said Captain Summers. "Your commander has been captured. Your fleet is in disarray. Surrender now, or be destroyed." For a long moment, there was silence. Then the comm system came alive with messages of surrender from Vespari ships throughout the system. "They're standing down," said Diane in amazement. "All of them." Gregory looked up from his science station. "Captain, I'm detecting a massive energy surge at the edge of the system. It's similar to our quantum signature, but much bigger." The main screen showed a glowing tear in space. Through it came not one ship, but 20. They were sleek, powerful, and bore the emblem of Earth. "This is Admiral Carla Rodriguez of the Earth Fleet," came a new voice over the comm. "USS Defiant, do you receive us?" Captain Summers stared in shock. "This is Captain Summers, Admiral. How are you here?" "We're light years from Earth." "We've been tracking your quantum signature for weeks," replied Rodriguez. When it suddenly went silent, then reappeared in this system, we assembled a response fleet. Looks like we arrived just in time. "Actually, Admiral," said Summers with a smile, "I think you're late to the party, but we're very glad to see you." The Earth fleet moved into the system surrounding the surrendered Vespari ships. On the Defiance bridge, the crew watched in amazement. "I can't believe it," said Sharon. "We did it. We actually defeated an alien empire." "Not defeated," corrected Summers. "Liberated. There's a difference." He turned to Diane. "Contact Cyrex and the other rebel leaders. Tell them representatives from Earth want to meet with them." As the human ship secured the system, Captain Summers looked out at the stars. What had begun as a simple reconnaissance mission had turned into first contact, a prison break, and now the birth of a new alliance between Earth and the liberated species of the hegemony. The universe had just become a much bigger, more complicated place, and humanity had announced its arrival in a way no one would soon forget. Out of nowhere, a human warship had appeared, and an empire had fallen.